Okay, letter number 5. Let's have a look. Now, I haven't seen the case notes for this. I think I've seen them before, but they weren't posted in the group. Now, the first thing I want to say, this is a little bit short. If you count all this stuff, it's about 184. This is a little bit low. You know, there's not a lot of information in this particular letter. Now, we've got this here. He's a single. He's working as a fencing contractor. So usually you put the information. So if you don't have the DOB, you can put name, age, occupation. So I'm writing to refer Mr. Riley. What would that be? Aged 61, fencing contractor, blah blah blah. So you could do it like that if you wanted. But this letter is being written on behalf. Well, what do we do that? Say, I'm writing to request your low-fat guidelines and recipe for Mr. Riley, who is being discharged today after a coronary artery bypass, or something such as that. So you could do it like that. You don't really need to do this letter is being written on behalf of Mr. Riley. Now, did he make this request? Are you sure that he made this, or is this part of your plan for discharge? I think it might be part of a discharge plan. I don't think he actually said, "Oh, doctor, can you give me some simple, healthy recipes?" I also seem to remember from the case notes, I think I might have these. I'll just have a quick check if I do have these case notes. But I think this is pretty much what is copied. No, I don't have them, but I have seen them. I think this comes word for word. I think a lot of this you have to send me the case notes is basically copied word for word. You probably won't put that in the introduction, the reason for writing. So presumably you want the reader, presumably they are a dietitian, to provide or advise on low-fat diet and eating plans or recipes for Mr. Riley being discharged after his coronary artery bypass. You could do it like that, because I don't know if he's made this particular request himself. Okay, Mr. Riley was admitted to the hospital as he was diagnosed with coronary artery disease and underwent heart surgery. Okay, you could phrase that a little better, but okay. Post-operative period, recovered well. Now, and advised. Well, right. Advice is a noun. Let me give you some advice. I can advise you as a verb. So, if it would be passive in any case and was advised to stop habits like smoking and alcohol, and it was advised to simply stop smoking and drinking alcohol. Now, this short sentence here, his wounds healed faster and walked better, that's what we call a dangling participle. So his wounds walked better, you mean his wounds healed faster and he walked better, but walked better than what and how he did before. So that doesn't make sense, and that's a very short sentence in any case. During the post-operative period, he recuperated well. His wounds healed fast. Now, I would have put this stuff together about the recuperated wounds and ambulation, and then put the advice at the end of a sentence, because it kind of makes more sense if you do that. If you put the symptoms, the symptoms, the occurrences. So he recovered well, his wounds were healing fast, he was walking better, and he was advised, additionally, he was advised to stop drinking and smoking, though wouldn't that happen before the operation? Because it's kind of like would you operate on him first and then afterwards say, if you don't want to come back, you need to be stopping smoking and drinking? So I'm not quite sure about the sequence or the logical order of events. Is a single what? A single man, or simply is single? Okay, well, what's that got to do with me giving him dietary guidelines? What's that got to do with it? Unless you meant like he doesn't have a wife to cook for him, so he's cooking for himself, so therefore he needs some guidelines. But that's not what it says. Working a fencing contractor. Well, again, what's that got to do with me, presumably, giving him dietary guidance? What does his occupation have to do with me giving him some simple recipes? To avoid him being back in hospital. You don't consume, you smoke them. 20 cigarettes, and so smoking 20 cigarettes and drinking to the bottles of beer per day. Heights enable he priors? You mean prefers? He has a preference, prefers to eat fast food and has an allergic reaction. So notice this is kind of mixed. I'm not sure what this is doing here, but okay. I mean, it would have been kind of better if you'd have put this at the top, and then when we see this about smoking and drinking, because we don't know that he was a smoker and a drinker, but if you put this before this, then it makes kind of sense. He used to smoke, he was smoking 20 cigarettes and drinking beer, blah, blah, blah. And then later on, he was advised to stop, or maybe as part of a rehabilitation program, he was advised, because it's like, surely you would try and get him to stop smoking and drinking before going to hospital. But unless it was urgent and it was taken straight in, then part of a rehabilitation program, because presumably during hospitalization he was neither drinking nor smoking. So wouldn't that be part of the rehabilitation program? Advise him to stop, giving him some help to stop smoking and drinking. Also give him some advice about diet and recipes. Isn't that what you would do? So, not very logical. If you could advise, noun, advise, verb, the importance of a low-fat diet and healthy recipes. Kindly note, why kindly? Simply please. Note, you don't have to. How can you note anything kindly? How can you, as opposed to noting something unkindly? How does that work? To continue be some programs. Kindly note what? To continue his rehabilitation, what? What does that mean? Kindly note, can you help him to continue? Kindly note, please make him continue. That makes no sense. Simply to continue his rehabilitation programs doesn't mean anything. What? You want me to continue his programs? You want me to make sure he continues his programs? That doesn't make any sense. Please give advice. Now it's a noun, uncountable. To this home addresses. This home addresses. What you mean, these? Or his home address? So that's not clear at all. Is it singular? Is it plural? Is it his? Is it these? Is it this? Does he have more than one address? Should you require any more information? No, need a question mark, because that makes it. Should you require any more information? It's a question. Shouldn't be. Should you require any more information? Please, do not hesitate to contact me. Not a question. So, a little bit short, as again, I'm looking at these, as I mentioned in letter 1, 2, 3, 4. In real life, the reader is not going to have access to the case notes. They're just going to have this document that you sent them, okay? So if you think of it like that, it's got to make sense. I'm not going to refer to, well, if I were really the recipient, I would not be having the case notes, oh, this is what it means, this is what this, oh, I understand. No, that's not how it would work. You'd have this letter, and that's all. So this has got to be clear. Your purpose, content, conciseness, organization, genre, style, it's all got to make sense to the reader. And how it is now, it doesn't make a great deal of sense. It could certainly be improved. Okay, so I hope that helps.